So today I wanted to talk about a new thing in my studio here, this rack that I got from sweetwater.com. This is an unsponsored video, but it was time. I had that stack of equipment sitting off to the side of my desk like I'm sure a lot of you probably do have. You might be looking left and right at a stack of equipment that should probably be in a rack and is not in a rack. I'm gonna talk about the rack that I just got and recommend to you. So this is a 12 space rack from OnStage that I bought from Sweetwater. I think it was around $242-ish. Really affordable price, I think. I got the one with rosewood because it matches the other rosewoody kind of things in my room here. But let's just go down. Let's go down from the top down, okay? So obviously I got my 3 headphones up there, which are actually used. I do use all 3 of them for mixing. Those are my headphones, the CAD headphones I use for referencing like heavy bass. The AKGs are sort of a real world sound, and the Avantone mix phones are for fine balancing. Over there on the left, you see my brand new PreSonus monitor station. It was just time for me to replace my old one. The output amplifiers, the headphone amplifiers, there were a couple of little things that were starting to go a little funny on that, so it was time to replace it. At the top, I actually attached this little LED strip myself. These come for like 10 bucks off of Amazon. Really easy, double-sided tape, plug it in, turn it on. Super easy thing to do. My power strip up here, nothing fancy. Right here, I have the Golden Age Pre-Q73, which I have done a review for, and the Heritage Audio HA73 EQ. These are by far my favorite little preamps that I've ever owned, and like both of them, but this one in particular, as soon as I started plugging my AKG 414 into this and recording and listening back, there was such a dramatic difference. Yeah, this preamp is absolutely insanely good, and I promise I will make a full review of it. It is absolutely the crown jewel in my rack right now. Okay, so let's go down. This is the power supply for my Avantone CV12, and of course my interface right here, which is the Focusrite Scarlett 4 Pre. This is sitting on a shelf, which I actually bought again from Sweetwater. These shelves are about $40. I did actually have to buy another shelf for the Golden Age right here. They make their own rack shelf that you can screw this actually into, which makes it nice and solid. So it's not just sitting on a shelf like these guys. These can move if I want them to, but there's no way to bolt them down to a shelf anyway. So they have, they got rubber feet, so it's not so bad. So the interface itself doesn't move. Down below it, last thing that's actually connected, this is my old friend here. This is the Sapphire Pro 40 from Focusrite. I have it running into my Scarlett via light pipe or optical cables, which enables me to use these other 8 channels off of this. I basically am turning this into an octo pre by running it that way, which is just a standalone preamp thing that Focusrite makes. If you don't know what an octo pre is, that's essentially what I've turned my old interface into. I just use it as inputs, and I just use it as a set of extra preamps. Down below that, one more shelf that I bought, and that's just basic storage, okay? So nothing too fancy or exciting there. I do want to mention though, what I've done at the top here, those headphone stands right there, and hopefully you can see right here, these are more headphone stands kind of thing, but I decided to use them as cable storage off of the side of this thing. So I have, my XLR cable that I use all the time, and then a 1/4 inch up front, and they're always plugged in, and the cables in the back are for, other applications, longer cables, my 7-pin cable for my CV12, stuff like that. Storage is on the side. So, like I said at the top, if you're one of these people who have a stack of equipment sitting to your left or your right, and you are always like, when you go to turn it on or plug something into it and you got to hold it down, listen, if you got the money to do this, I cannot recommend it more. It has made my life, it just feels so good. When you reach over, you click it, and it's not like trying to slide away from you. You click it, and it's like nice and solid in the rack. It's a really, really good feeling. Plus, these are not cheap pieces of equipment that we all buy for our home recording studios. So this is a way to protect your investment, which I highly, highly recommend. These things, again, super expensive. And if you're letting it slide around on top, it's just a matter of time until, some kid or somebody, or in my case, I totally did have someone knock over that old shelf that was here with all these things. They all went over backwards. Thankfully, nothing broke except for one of my monitors, but none of this gear actually broke. And ever since then, I was like, I gotta get it in a rack. Finally did it. Wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you like it. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And you know, it's awesome. So get a rack if you have the money and want a rack and have the space. I will say it's not the smallest thing, the tabletop, but totally usable if you have the space. And then you have an extra tabletop to work with. So that's nice. Okay. So you guys, if you have any questions, of course, leave them below. And I'm going to put links for all the things that I've talked about today in the more info area. So check those out and I'll talk to you later. All right. Peace.